Hello everyone and welcome to Module 3 of Blog Investigations. First of all, let's go over the copyright. Copyright. All material in this presentation is copyright 2015 by Joseph Senor and PI Mall LLC. Any reproduction in physical or electronic format is not allowed without the written permission of Joseph Senor. If you wish to use this information in a presentation of your own or in other materials, please contact me at jsenor@cibir.net. So, in this new module, let's talk a little bit about clients. So who are going to be your clients that would hire you for a blog investigation case? Well, when you're doing a blog investigation service, there are basically going to be 5 types of clients that would hire you. There's the spouse, significant others, boyfriend, girlfriend type situation, corporations, lawyers, and the public in general. So let's delve into each one of these types of clients. First of all, let's talk about spouses. Well, of course, the biggest client base you're going to have with this are going to be spouses or an ex-spouse. Now, this type of client is really interesting in that they're looking for different types of evidence that they can use against the other spouse. Now, the issue is that most of the information that they're going to provide you about the blog that their spouse uses or created is going to be third hand or maybe even just conjecture that they think maybe their spouse might be doing something like that. So you've got to be very, very careful about the information they provide you. Now, when you're dealing with this type of client, you need to always find out first if they're working with a lawyer. Now, if they do have a lawyer, you want to always make sure that you're coordinating with their lawyer. Because the thing is, you don't want to be going down this route of blog investigations, gathering all this evidence, and then find out, oh, they've got an attorney that you should be working with. So it's best to make sure you always ask ahead of time. So make sure to pay attention to our next section on questions for your client. Now also, be aware that you do not want to pass information to your client until you've completed all of the work. Because the reason is you don't want to have your client start to interact with the blog or start posting on the blog when you're still conducting your investigation. So make sure you wait until the very end to give your client all of the information they need about the blog, if there is a blog. Now, I've had many clients of mine that after getting the report immediately went to the blog and started posting on it. Well, this is a no-no. So make sure you let your clients know that when you turn the report over to them, that the worst possible thing they could do is start posting on that blog. I've also had several clients that once they got the report, they started to post information on Facebook and other social networks to discredit the other person. This again, another bad idea from the client's part. Okay, so make sure you let your clients know that when you provide them the full report, that they should leave that blog alone until everything is complete. Meaning the law case, the divorce, whatever it is they're going through. Now, here's another interesting part of this type of client that you would be working with. If the case does involve the spouse or also a significant other, then guess what? You might need to conduct work at their house. What do I mean by this? Well, it could involve you looking for a blog posting or a blog that is run by that spouse or significant other. Now, if this is the case, then you're going to need to monitor the home network for activity of somebody posting to a blog or somebody accessing a blog. This way, you'll be able to determine if the spouse or significant other is involved with that blog. Now, if you must monitor the home network, this could take the case in 2 different directions. Those 2 directions would be, first, that you would have to image the computer that was used, because this way you could determine everything that that computer accessed, all the websites and everything. The other direction would be to actually monitor the home network. Now, if you do need to image the computer, an image means you're taking a forensic image, which is a perfect copy of the computer. So you'll have every deleted file, every little sector that has a piece of information in it. It is a complete, perfect copy of that computer. So if you're going to image the computer in question, then I suggest you might want to look at getting the Investigator's Backup tool. This is a program I developed, and it creates an image of the computer, and then it also automatically generates an MD5 checksum for you, which is basically a cryptographic fingerprint of the file, so that you can prove that that file has not been modified since you started collecting it. So very important to always have that available to you. Now, the other thing is, if you're going to monitor the home network, instead of imaging the computer, you're going to monitor all the network activity, then you should use something like the Reporter, which again is another program I developed. The Reporter is a simple, easy to use program that once you plug it into the network at the client's house, then it will collect all of the network activity, everything going on inside that house. So this is a great tool to have, but be aware it generates a lot of information. So now, if you do go in these new directions, it will add an additional cost to the case. You need to make sure to let your client know this. Now, when it comes to imaging a computer, I charge at least $500 for each computer that I image. Now, if I'm going to check it, I might keep it at $500 if all I'm doing is going to pull the websites that the computer has visited out of it. If I'm going to do a full forensic investigation into that computer, then my starting rate is at $1,500 per computer. Now, the other issue, network monitoring. Well, when I do network monitoring of a location, it starts at $150 to start because I have to cover the cost of my equipment, and I charge $600 a month. Why do I charge $600 a month? Because the program that I have, the program called The Reporter, it sends out an hourly report of network activity. So in one day, you're going to have 24 reports to go through, and that's every single solitary day. So that's why I charge $600 monthly for it. So to network monitor, it's $150 to start it and $600 a month, so $750. Now, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. Always have your client sign a contract first. Do not get involved in any sort of, well, let me see about this. Let me look at this site. Let me see if I can find this site. No, get your client to sign a contract. So now, what about the client called significant others? Well, significant others are those people that are not married but are in a relationship with another person. This could be boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, fiance, something like that. Now, with this type of client, you're going to have to deal with the same exact issues that you had with the spouse. So keep in mind when you're dealing with this type of client that it's just like you're dealing with a spouse. All the same issues, all the same concerns. So our third type of client, corporations. Well, let me just say, corporations are really interesting clients. Now, they're normally looking for 5 different types of things. Either they're looking for employee information or insider information that has been released. They're looking for competitor information. They're looking for corporate leaks that are being posted to a blog. Maybe they're looking at some corporate slander issues that are out on a blog. Or they're looking for other legal issues that may come up on somebody's blog. Now, these are the 5 that I've dealt with in my experience. Now, when dealing with a corporation as a client, you will need to ensure that the information you receive is accurate from your client. Now, also, something else you need to be looking at is that they will be looking for not just the one blog, but they're normally interested in any additional information you can provide them. So I normally keep a running track of all the blogs I'm uncovering as I'm working on the investigation for a corporation, because I provide that as other information that they could want to know about. Also, you need to make sure that you are anonymizing your connection to the internet every single solitary time you do this. Now, if I'm using something like TourGuard, then I'm always going to make sure to come out of another country. I will not come out of the United States. I'll come from a different country. And that's the beauty of using something like TourGuard to be able to do that. It's just a simple click and you're coming out of a different country at that point. Now, when you're doing a corporate investigation for blogs, the other thing you want to do, make sure you've got a screen recorder running while you're doing the work. I mean, you should be running the screen recorder anyway, but you need to make sure that you've got it running while you're doing your corporate investigation. Now, before you quote your price to them, make sure you do some background research on the topic they're interested in, because I found corporations tend to really lowball everything. So make sure you know what you're getting into before you sign up with them, and make sure that you are being paid properly for your work. Now, another thing, if you can, I strongly suggest that you request that you work directly with the legal counsel of the corporation. The reason for this is that anything you turn over to them is protected under the attorney-client privilege. And when I've requested that, it is absolutely shown to the client that I'm looking out for their best interest, because they realize how well that will protect them and the information that I'm collecting for them. So I always request, look, can I work directly with your attorney on this? So keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stop this recording right now so that I can set up another one, because we're getting a little bit long on this one. So I'll see you in the very next recording on Blog Investigations.